Hi everyone, so I'm doing another tag video. This one is the 5 random facts. Again, it's not one that was sent to me directly. It's just I've seen kind of other people on YouTube do it, and so I thought it would be kind of fun just to, I don't know, share that extra bit of information with you guys. So the first thing is I'm a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian now for over 8 years. I kind of remember that it was February 8 years ago that I became a vegetarian. Sorry guys, I'm sat on the floor again, so I fidget. I became a vegetarian because I got a puppy, and obviously she was kind of playful being a puppy, and there was a documentary I watched about a cow, and you see the cow from kind of being a calf all the way up to slaughter. And I mean, I didn't think anything of it. I mean, I watched the programme and that was fine, but just kind of when the cow was a calf, because of how she kind of jumped about and she was kind of a bit crazy, it just reminded me of my puppy. And I just thought that a cow is obviously an animal too. You know, at the time I wouldn't have wanted anybody to kill my puppy, and obviously I still have her now. She's over 8 years old now, and I would kind of hate to think that anything sort of horrible would happen to her. And so I just kind of associated the two and thought that it's not fair that an animal should actually be killed just for my sake. You know, I know that there are people that eat meat, and that's fine if, you know, if that's what they want to do. You know, I'm not trying to say to people don't eat meat. I just obviously don't. And yeah, that's pretty much my reason. I just kind of came to the conclusion that, you know, everything should be entitled to live. You know, I know that animals are bred to feed people, but, you know, I've managed to be a vegetarian for 8 years. My arms and legs haven't fallen off. Nothing terrible has happened to me. So, you know, it's obviously possible for people to live without actually eating meat. But having said that, I'm actually quite a strict vegetarian. Some people will say fussy, but I won't eat, if I go shopping, say in Tesco's or Sainsbury's or wherever, if there are yogurts or predominantly mousse type yogurts, they have gelatin in them, and so I won't eat that because I don't actually have any animal byproducts either. Now when I say that, I'm not vegan, so I do have milk, but it's what do you call it, I think it's free range milk. I have eggs and they're free range. See, the thing to me, if a cow just happened to shed a burger and the cow was still 100% healthy and alive, then I wouldn't actually have a problem eating it. But because the cow obviously has to be slaughtered for me to eat the meat, that's why I won't eat it. So I'm not a vegan. The only detriment, I suppose I could say, that I have is that I am low in vitamin B12. So every 3 months I go and have a vitamin B12 injection, and that's fine with me. I mean, the smell of meat kind of makes me feel quite queasy anyway. Even when I used to eat meat, I was never keen on the smell of bacon cooking or sausages or any of that, but I can't stand the smell now even more. So that's me kind of going on about being a vegetarian, I suppose. Number 2, I went to stage school when I was younger. I think I was probably about 12, 13, and I had gone with a friend of mine who was the year above me in school. So we kind of went together. It wasn't a full-time stage school where you do all your lessons, kind of like maths and English, science, etc., as well as the dancing and singing, etc. It wasn't like that. It was like, I suppose, a part-time stage school. So I went to kind of a regular school, and then on weekends my friend and I would go to stage school. At the time, because, you know, I didn't have it in mind of, oh, you know, I really want to pursue this as a career, there wasn't really much point in my mum trying to spend money on something that may never have gone anywhere. So yeah, I think I was there probably, I don't know, maybe probably less than a year, but definitely no more than a year. And fact number 3, I'm generally quite a creative person. I've always kind of been like a hands-on person. Even when I was in school doing kind of technology or textiles, I would hate having to do all the paperwork. But as soon as it came to being on the sewing machine and doing this or doing that, and actually the kind of physical side of doing something, I loved it. So I've always kind of liked, well, I don't mind drawing, I'm pretty rubbish at drawing, but mainly kind of card making, scrapbooking, making my own candles, making my own jewellery. And I've kind of found it really interesting actually, because recently I've seen other people on YouTube who also make their own jewellery, and so that's just inspired me again to try to, all I used to really make before were necklaces and bracelets, but I'm going to give ring making and earring making a go. Some of them that I've watched look kind of really complicated, so obviously just kind of take baby steps at first, but yeah, I like to be creative. For such a long time now, probably 16 years. Well, it was about sort of 16 years ago that I started writing poetry. I always used to think that it had to rhyme, otherwise it wasn't a poem. But I remember as soon as a teacher had said to me it doesn't need to rhyme, it's pretty much that the floodgates had opened and I couldn't stop writing. So yeah, I enjoy reading, not all poetry, but some poetry, and also writing. Better chop because of the time. Number 4, I used to be in the army, probably about 10 years ago. I was there for a year, and then due to health problems I had to leave, so I was really gutted. But when I was there, I loved it. It's quite funny how I even got into it. I watched a Goldie Hawn film called Private Benjamin, and I thought, oh, that looks like really good fun. I'd like to do that. And so I kind of decided to take the plunge and put myself up for kind of joining the army. The training was hard, but I liked it. I loved it actually. You know, even though it's so harsh and it physically just absolutely, you're physically wrecked. At the end of a weekend I'd come home and I could kind of be black and blue with bruises just from just going crazy with the training. You'd kind of be out on night patrols and kind of training for training purposes. Obviously you don't kind of get shot at with live ammunition, but you'd have like your rendezvous points and you'd have to get from A to B, and oh, it was definitely an experience I'm glad that I had. And you know, if my health were to improve and I ever kind of wanted to go back again, you know, I think there's always a possibility, never say never. So yeah, and then my last one, number 5, for those of you who may not know, I have a condition that's known as ME. That's just kind of the abbreviation. I wouldn't even try and pronounce the proper word because I just butcher it. But it's also something that's known as chronic fatigue syndrome. I've had it for years, and it's a real pain in the backside. It's one of the reasons that I'm not able to do as many videos as I would like. I know that sort of one of my favourite people to watch is Hannah. Her YouTube username is Giggly123, and she always has kind of videos up pretty much, you know, every day or every couple of days, and I just think, oh, you know, I'd really love it if I could, but quite often I'm so exhausted that it's just a task, a real mission for me to just do something simple like brush my hair or brush my teeth and put some makeup on. So yeah, I have that as well. I won't kind of bore you with the details, but if you would like to know more about ME or kind of any of the other things that I've gone through, just leave me a comment below or send me a message, and I'll be happy to kind of get back to you. And if you do want to see sort of a more in-depth video, I suppose, about the condition, just let me know and I'll be happy to do that as well. So yeah, that's my 5 random facts. I hope you found that interesting, and I look forward to seeing all you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.